Hello, welcome to Swapping Joysticks. It is the 11th of October. No, it's not. We're not that far ahead. It's the 11th of August, 2022. Thank God it's not October. Although I wouldn't mind fast forwarding to the 11th of October because I feel like the next couple of months are going to be a bit hectic. But this is Swapping Joysticks, your home for LGBT gaming content. And I'm your host, Biggest Bennis, aka Ben Ostwick, and I'm joined as always by the James Gurnalist himself, Ed Nightingale.
That was a really terrible joke to start.
What?
October. Where did that come from?
I don't know. I was looking at, I was like, 8's October, isn't it? No, it's not. Do you know what?
It's definitely not.
Is not. Do you know what it is in just a matter of days?
What? Tell us.
It's your birthday.
Oh.
It is your birthday. This time next week is your birthday, but we're not going to be streaming. We're actually taking a week off just for one special week. Ed's demanded
a very special week.
Ed's demanded that we have a week off, so we will be taking.
It's just we've got plans for a lot of the week.
We do. We're going to be going to a Japanese restaurant. Very nice. But if you are starved of content, then we will be putting up the video on Saturday of Ed and I racing in the Monaco Grand Prix, not in real life, but on Formula One or F1 22, which it's been rebranded because it used to be F1 2011 or 2012 or whatever, blah, 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 up to 2020. And then it's just F1 22, like FIFA. Well, it did get...
It's a long number otherwise, isn't it?
Yeah, but also it got bought by EA, didn't it? Codemasters. So they're just going for like the FIFA 22, F1 22, although they're not going for FIFA anymore.
Well, exactly. So that'll change.
This is the F1 is a new FIFA. Or not. Probably not. But yeah, so that is what's happening next week.
So you'll be editing that tonight, right?
I will be editing that tonight. That's why we've got to finish no later than 10 o'clock. But yeah, we'll see about that because I've got to edit that. Plus edit the podcast. Plus do all this work. Plus I got to put a wash on.
Edit the podcast? When does that happen?
I mean, you joke. I edit it I have to transfer it over to YouTube, and then I also have to download it. Then I have to put the little jingle at the beginning. Then I have to upload it. I've got to write the description of it. Yeah, it takes about an hour.
Wow.
As Monty says, he cuts the beginning and the end off. Exactly. That's editing.
Sure.
Because otherwise it'd be just, the first minute would just be kind of nothing. But yeah, anyway, you've been watching Uncoupled.
Oh, we were just talking about this before stream. Yeah, there's a new Netflix show called Uncoupled with Neil Patrick Harris in it. And it's kind of trying to be like Sex and the City for gays.
Sounds perfect.
It's basically a guy who's newly single and is like in his 40s and is sort of out of touch with the younger gay world in New York. And it's just very like, oh my God, I'm a gay in New York. Oh my God. And it's the most irritating program.
I mean, I've just heard good things about it. My boss enjoys it, and as does.
And you trust your boss?
Well, no.
Don't answer that.
No. Just in case they're listening. Yes, I trust them with everything that they say and all of their opinions. But yeah, I mean, Moni's heard good things about it. I mean, you didn't like the Bruno thing, did you? The Bruno movie.
Why is that comparable?
No, I mean, your taste can be questionable. What's it called, the one we don't talk about, Bruno?
No.
Not Bruno the movie, that's a different one. That's the LG one. Encanto, there you go.
Oh, I thought you meant as in like Sacha Baron Cohen. I was like, what?
I didn't like that movie.
Encanto is not good.
And what makes you say that?
Oh, we've got a podcast to do. We don't have time to go into Encanto.
We don't talk about Encanto.
No, we don't. Uncoupled is terrible. Don't watch it. Honestly. You know when there's a program and there's like the lead character and everyone around them, and the lead character is just really insufferable, and you're meant to really feel for them, and you're just like, you deserve this. Stop being an idiot. That's like the whole thing is basically, why did your partner leave you? It's like, because you're an asshole. And now you've got 8 episodes about you. Why am I watching this?
Fair. I mean, you do like those kind of reality. Well, you do like reality TV shows that are just 99% asshole, don't you?
Yeah, but you expect that from reality TV. This is like a drama that I expect to be well written and well acted, and it is neither of those things.
Okay. Well, I won't watch it. Mine, I'll watch it as much as I watch all the other
Got me
TV series.
ranty already, man.
Yeah. Oh, we're ranting, and we haven't even got up to talking about, I don't know, Mario Kart, which I'm sure will bring back horrible memories because I won last time. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be talking about. We will be talking about the Mario Kart tracks. We are going to chat, obviously, about 2 Point Campus. Now that I've had a good chance to play it, and we're going to talk about Final Fantasy XII, which Ed has been using to, chill and relax in the evenings, haven't you?
I have very much.
All right. Well, let's first. So after the stream on Thursday last week, we went and played some Mario Kart. We just did a quick round, or I think we just did 2 tournaments, like 2 4-race tournaments of the new tracks. What do you think to them?
I mostly like them. Mostly like them. I like the classics. It's always good to have the classics in there. I do like the change they've made to Calamari Desert, because they've now changed it where the second and third laps you go along the tracks of the train. So it means you actually are more likely to collide with the train as you go around, which is the point of that track. The penguins in Sherbetland can absolutely do one. They are designed to be just in the wrong place. And I actually really like the tour tracks. I feel like the tour tracks kind of split opinion. What I do like about them is that every lap is different. So they mix it up and you do a slightly different route every time. And I really like that because it's not the same thing every time. It's something a little bit different. And I feel like that could be an interesting spin that they bring in future games. However, I don't like that they're based on real cities. It's really weird to be driving around and then there's like the Sydney Opera House. Like, I want the Mushroom Kingdom. I'm a purist when it comes to Mario Kart. I want Mario and Mario only.
See, I quite like the tour tracks. I like that they're based on real places because they're different to, the kind of the fantasy settings that we have on all the others, but they're also all similar in the fact that they are all based on a major city with landmarks that you'd recognize. So I do quite like that, and I do like that they change each lap, as you said. But I know I have no problem with them touring real places. It's a different game. It's tour. It's based on real life places, so that's where they're from. I also say I must say I really like the SNES track that they've included this time because it does feel like a SNES lap. I don't know which one is in the main game, what the name of it exactly is, of the track that they've got that's based on a SNES track in the original. It's great.
I don't know the names. It's just,
but
it's just that one and that one.
The SNES one that was in the base game, that one feels like a really kind of revamped, but based on an old school SNES track. Whereas this current one is just like, let's make that SNES track more 3D, and we're going to keep everything as it was and just let you race around it. It just feels a lot more authentic to the original.
See, that's the thing in this, is that you've got the two extremes. You've got like the SNES track that feels like it's properly made for racing because it's basically flat, but it's got that like 90s Mario aesthetic, which I love. And I'm very much a purist for that. So I also really, really like the SNES tracks. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you've got that bloody shitty ice cream sundae one that is one of the worst tracks. It looks like a Fall Guys track.
Yeah.
It's weird. The way you go upstairs and you can go through the barrier bit is annoying, and there are way too many jumps. I hate it. I really hate that track.
It is a bit weird. And somebody said that one of the SNES ones is Rainbow Road. But I'm just looking at it. It says that Rainbow Road wasn't the SNES one. Apparently that Rainbow Road was that's in the original is the Nintendo 64 one. But
both.
But it's got like a new Rainbow Road, like a new funky one, and then it's got the SNES. Then it's got the Nintendo 64. I don't believe it.
Then there is a SNES one.
Is there a SNES Rainbow Road?
It might be in the DLC.
You're right. It's in the Triforce Cup. It was in the Zelda DLC. That's right. No, I was thinking of the.
Test me. I remember that. That is imprinted in my memory going around those, because that's the one with all the really sharp, like square corners.
That's right. And I remember playing that. No, the one I really remember is the one that was Donut Plains 3. So Donut Plains 3 is based on the SNES one, but it's like a really kind of like, we are going to make this a Mario Kart 8 track, but based on a SNES one. Whereas the new one that's come out, which is, if I scroll, well, actually, no, I don't know the name of it because it won't let me, it won't find out. Where are the Mario Kart? Oh, it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. What's the name of the new one? Does anybody know? Feel free to type it in chat.
One.
The new tracks. Yeah, Donut Plains 2 is the one. I liked it, but it didn't feel as authentic as it does on the new one. The new one was one of the first games I ever played. I've said this before. Was my sister came around with a SNES, and that was the first games console I ever played. And the first game I played on that was Mario Kart. And the one track that I remember was the one that's added into the DLC. So I think pretty much the first video game I ever played was that one. So there you go. That is...
Mainline says, have they implemented much of the anti-grav stuff in the new tracks? Not really. The Sunday one is entirely anti-grav. But the other ones, they haven't really. Which is fine. I quite like a mix of them.
Mm-hmm.
The SNES one, for instance, like I like it as it is, but had that had like an anti-grav section in the middle of it or something, that would have been quite cool.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the list of the tracks, actually, I can tell you right now. So the ones that are released on the new one, we've got... Oh, my God, I don't want all these. It's just like people trying to... Nintendo Life, they'll surely have it. Yeah. The Wave 2. Is this what we've got? The booster pack confirmed track? Yeah. So from from SNES was Mario Circuit 3. That was it. Mario Circuit. I do love a Mario Circuit. It's also got New York Minute, Calamari Desert, Waluigi Pinball, which was fun.
Which is great.
Sydney Sprint, Snowland with the fucking penguins, as Ed would say, Mushroom Gorge, and Sky...
Also, those mushrooms can do one. I never liked that track on the Wii.
Sky High Sunday, which is it's a weird layout with the steps and things, I gotta say.
Yeah. Do you want to know what's in the next batch? Because it's basically all leaked.
Yes. Are the Moss SNES ones?
Of course.
Oh, good.
Basically, what Nintendo have done is the update that they do for the new tracks already has all the track names in it of all the extra packs that aren't going to be released until the end of next year.
Wait, have they leaked all of the names?
Most of them, yeah.
Wow.
And so there's also all the music as well has leaked, all the music tracks.
Wow.
So people have basically put everything together and worked out what is going to be included in the next ones. So it's not quite all of them, but the next pack is pretty much all of them.
Go on then, tell us.
So in one of them, we're going to have, well, it's a track from Mario Kart Tour.
Mm-hmm.
Then it will be Peach Gardens from the DS.
Oh, like a Peach Garden.
Mm-hmm. Boo Lake or Broken Pier from the Game Boy Advance.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alpine Pass from the 3DS.
Okay.
And then the other one is going to be Berlin Byways from Tour.
Right.
Waluigi Stadium from the GameCube, which is great.
Okay.
Merry Mountain, but we don't know what that's from. And then Rainbow Road from 3DS.
Ooh, a new Rainbow Road. I'm always up for a new Rainbow Road.
And then there are also elsewhere throughout the packs, we've got Amsterdam Drift, Singapore Speedway, Los Angeles Laps, Bangkok Rush, and Vancouver Velocity for the tour tracks.
Any London? Have we had London?
I haven't seen a London one. There are a couple of gaps though, so we might have a London one. Also, Maple Treeway from the Wii version is coming, and that is a great one.
I need to be reminded of all of these. I feel like I didn't play Mario Kart enough when I was younger, but I probably did because I definitely played them and I definitely bought them. I even got the wheel. I just can't remember any of them.
Oh, what, the Wii wheel?
Yeah.
That
was terrible.
That was terrible.
It was awful. It was like I just hold the controller. It's much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is Mario Kart, and it's still got lots of longevity left. Good for them for not, just releasing a new one and giving us more content to keep going until, undoubtedly, this will be the first Nintendo console, won't it, with no brand new Mario Kart game.
Correct. Correct.
Or do you think they'll sneakily, I've got a feeling that maybe if the Switch does get a successor soon, or in a couple of years, they'll release it on both.
I don't know if they'll do that. I mean, we're probably going to end up with Switch 2 next year alongside the new Breath of the Wild.
But if they release it on both,
but
it could be like
they're still pushing Mario Kart so much because it's so popular.
Yeah.
The main reason for all of this and them dragging it out is to make sure that people stay subscribed to Nintendo Online. That's why they're doing this.
I'm sure they will release it on both because Breath of the Wild came out on both as well. If you remember, it came out on the Wii U.
It did.
I just think they're going to look at the amount of Switches that have sold, and they're like, okay, we've got a brand new Mario Kart. If we keep it on the Switch as well, if we make a version of it that's available on the Switch, they're going to sell millions and millions and millions. You know how many that they sell already.
Mario Kart is such a system seller. People would buy the next console to get the new one.
Yeah, it depends whether how much of the new console they'll actually have in abundance.
I mean, the thing is, there's still so much to play on the current one.
Yeah.
And we've still got another year's worth of tracks to come in this Mario Kart. So the next Mario Kart game is a very long way off yet.
Yeah. Main answer, as long as it's cross-compatible, that would be okay. Yeah, I'd really hope they do that. Yeah. All right, I've also been playing some of 2 Point Campus. Finally got to play some. So last Friday I streamed.
Now it's your turn to rant about it because I ranted about it last week. I say rant, I just talked a lot.
You did. You feel free. I talked a bit about Mario Kart. You can butt in whenever you want. But yeah, I played some 2 Point Campus last Friday, and I streamed it from 7 p.m. till 1:30 in the morning, I think it was. I literally had to force myself to stop because that game is so addictive. I think management games, especially kind of sim management games, they are, well, not sim management games, but management games with a bit of a comedy element, kind of park management, roller coaster tycoon, this type of game. I think they really do get their hooks into me, and I think they do for many people as well. But it is a fantastic game. If you liked 2 Point Hospital, you're going to love this because it just adds so many different layers. And I followed your advice, and I've been just 1-starring it and going to the next one because it does seem that they unlock different things for you for every level. Now, I don't know, do they unlock extra things as you're going for 2-star and 3-star, or is it just more of a challenge?
No, it just extends the challenge. So it's like, right now you need to get, I don't know, a higher campus rating, and you need to get your students to a higher grade and things like that. So, if you want to unlock and see everything, all you need is those 1 stars. Yeah. It's it's a bit like a I don't know, like a Mario platform game. Like, you don't have to collect everything to move to the next level, but you can stick around and find everything if you want to. Yeah,
what's the one where you go back once you're a higher and you can go and I'm trying to think of games where that you do that, where you go from one part to another, or you just go and complete the game, basically, but then as you're playing it, you're getting more skills and you're able to go back and unlock certain things, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm aiming to kind of finish the game with 1 stars, and then going back and with all the things that I've then unlocked throughout my playthrough, go and make it a little bit easier to get to 2 stars and 3 stars. And we'll see whether that is true or not. But a few of the times, especially with the Magic School, I was just throwing everything at it to get that 1 star. Because it has been quite mixed in the length of time that I've taken to get 1 star. Like, I'm doing the cheese ball one, the sports fluffbra at the moment. And I feel like I'm only about half an hour away from getting that 1 star, and I've only been playing it for under an hour. Whereas
I think I found that level a little easier.
The wizard one took me a long time to get the average. It was getting the average grade to B+. Because, they were slackers.
Yeah.
They were hovering at C plus B for ages and ages, and I literally had to build 4 private tuition rooms and keep sending people there when they were failing, and just constantly training my teachers, which maybe that's what it was teaching me to do. I was just hiring people, off the street, being like, you can teach dark arts, you can teach wizardry, you can do that. So maybe that was just teaching me that I shouldn't be doing that. And eventually I got it. But it's just a really addictive but fun game. Like the performance on PC as well has been brilliant. I've not had a single crash, which for a brand new game, and it might sound like giving credit for it not breaking and stuff, but for a brand new game, for it not to crash or stutter or like have any performance issues in the hours and hours and hours that I've played of it is pretty impressive.
That's surprising.
And all that
the other thing for just doing the 1 stars really is spending your kudos.
Yes.
Because that's what carries over into each level. So once you've unlocked a decorative item once, you can access it in all the levels. And there are other things you want to spend your kudos on first, like bookcases or special things that are needed for assignments. And you want to unlock those things first before you go spend all your money on decorative stuff.
Oh, thanks for telling me that now.
That's why you want to, go through all the levels so that you can focus just on that. And then you can go back again and add those in without spending your kudos, which means any more kudos you can spend on the decorative stuff. What I will also warn, because I didn't realize this until I was playing through it on Tuesday, is if you play sandbox mode, you have to unlock everything all over again.
Okay.
So you can play any level with any course, but all of the stuff you unlock with kudos, you're starting from scratch. So there was stuff I was like, oh, I can decorate with this and do that, and realized, oh wait, I don't have the kudos because I've got to unlock it again. So if you are going to play on sandbox, just be aware of that.
All right, I thought they'd include the stuff that you'd already unlocked then, I guess.
Only in the main campaign.
I'm intrigued
But
to see...
also on sandbox, there's a creative mode where it gives you like the maximum money and tons of kudos. So what you can then do is just unlock everything, because it doesn't carry over anywhere in sandbox. It's just that one instance of you playing that is self-contained. So you can basically do create mode and just unlock everything you want to see if you want to.
Can you set your own challenge up? Can you send like a challenge mode?
You can do custom modes, yeah.
Okay. Yes, I saw you starting that. That looked cool. I'm also intrigued to see what the final level is as well, because I know what it's called, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is kind of like a sandboxy mode at the end.
It's like a final test.
It seemed plain. I'm not going to give it away, but it seemed like it would be a good thing to just put everything you've tested in and put down. But yeah, I will be intrigued. Maybe before I do that, I'll go back and try and 3-star the other levels. It's a fantastic game. There's so much to it. Every level feels completely different, and they are introducing new mechanics, which I love. I love that in a game. Whenever every level gives us new mechanics or a new way of playing, well, not necessarily a way of playing, but a new thing to consider. I just love that in a game, and that's what it does. It's constantly you're constantly being like, oh my god, well, not oh my, maybe not oh my god, but you're going, oh, what's going to be in the next level? Okay, well, I can see that it's sports or it's magic or it's knights in armor. So we know that the theme's going to be completely different, but also they're going to introduce something new like marketing or pastoral service or a medical room. And then you're also thinking, oh wait, I'm doing Fluffborough now. I'm like, okay, well, sports, Fluffborough, okay, sports, so I'm definitely going to need a medical room. And then you're thinking a lot more in advance, and it's getting much more complicated. And I know that you have played a spy one, and I'm so intrigued to see what they do there, because I think you played the spy level, or you played a bit of it on stream, and I muted and minimized the stream. I do apologize, but I want to go in completely blind and not have any idea of what's going on.
That's understandable. And that's what I really like about it, is that the campaign is essentially just a tutorial to teach you the game mechanics, but it's the way that each level just hands out a little extra thing, puts an extra little twist on it to keep you on your toes. So I feel like the difficulty curve of it is really, really well paced.
Yes. You found it quite tough, didn't you?
You never feel overwhelmed.
No, but you found it quite tough a bit later on, didn't you?
Yeah, tough is, relative in the sense of maybe
hours.
It's more difficult to get 1 star, but at the same time, there's no time limit. So you can take as long as you like. If it takes you, 5 in-game years to get to 1 star because you were slowly making money rather than doing it in like 1 year or 2 years, that's completely fine. Like, it's your way of playing.
You obviously watched my magic year, my wizarding school, because that took like 5, 6, maybe even 7 years to get the B+ average.
but it's totally on you to play it at your pace.
Yes.
And take your time over it. So there are these goals which are to get the stars, but you can really take your time. And if you want to make it super difficult and try and speedrun it, by all means, take out all 3 loans, spend all your money, and then be hampered with nothing afterwards. That's definitely what I did when I was reviewing, and then regretted it. So I had to go back and do it again.
See, I've been taking it quite slowly because I'm like, I'm streaming it. I can chat to people in the chat at the same time, and I've never had a money problem. I think I only took a loan out once and ended up paying half of that off because I was just making so much money, because it was just like a couple of things that I needed with that loan, and I was able to pay it off because the money was just flying in. As Helia said, that I love that there's no time limit. And there isn't. And there's even when there is a time limit, there aren't any real problems. Like the life munchers that are definitely not Death Eaters in the wizarding one. It tells you like how long you've got left to, eliminate all the life munchers. And when I was getting into the last few years, there were like 8, 9 of them appearing, and I only had like 2 janitors with defense thing, so I was only like getting rid of half of them. Still got a bit of money. They just made a sarcastic comment.
Yes, Lady V. They're in the definitely not Harry Potter level. There are life munchers instead of Death Eaters.
Yeah.
There are lots of puns.
Life munchers, not wife munchers.
Wow. Where did that come from? They are life munchers, and then you can basically just make it as gay as possible, which is incredible.
You can. The time limits and lack of natural disasters make me happy. I mean, I have been getting like asteroids flying from the sky that my janitors have to clean up. But apart from that, so far, they're the only natural disasters that I've had.
I will say nothing.
Intriguing. What about you? Because you've played a little bit more. Anything new that you've come across?
Nothing that I haven't already said. It's like I say, it's just a really fun game. I think Sandbox is great because you can just throw all your money at it and go into creative mode. So you can just spend all your money unlocking all the different things that you want, and then just create a real weird fantasy school, which is what the game's all about. So the Sandbox mode is definitely there for people that want to spend hours tinkering away, decorating things, and making their dream school.
I've also had, like, playing this game has given me a new obsession for management games, and I'm streaming 2 Point Campus right now and stuff, but I will be as well going back to some Planet Coaster. And quite a lot of the time when I'm just chilling or relaxing and I need something on in the background, I've been watching Planet Coaster videos, and I've got so many ideas, and I feel like I'm going back to it now after a week of watching these videos. I'm going to be hopefully a lot better at creating rides, because I've just got all these ideas and I've seen what things are available and what things are possible in that game that you don't realize. Like, there's some kind of like wooden fence, and that wooden fence can be the kind of the scaffolding underneath a path, or you can make this one plank that's on the floor that looks like a pirate ship has just left this wooden plank. No, you can literally build something with as many of those planks duplicated as possible. It's the amount of customization in that is wild, and it makes me also want to play some Planet Zoo. In the chat, Mr. Wibble just said that when we were talking about natural disasters, it's not like the game-ending tornadoes in Jurassic World Evolution. And I'm like, oh, I did like that game. I might, have a little play of that too. So yeah.
See, I've started watching Planet Coaster videos as well.
Yeah.
And I don't even have it. And I've been so tempted to buy it for so long. I think I'm going to have to take the plunge at some point. And just watching videos of what people do and riding them all in first person, thinking, oh, I wish I could go to a theme park right now. And I can't. But what I'm instead going to do is sit on YouTube and watch fantasy roller coasters in first person view.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I could spend hours doing that rather than actually playing the game.
Even actual like POVs of real roller coasters are like creeping into my YouTube watch channel list now, a recommended list. There was one, speaking of Jurassic World, there's a Jurassic World ride. Where is it? Because it looked incredible.
It's Universal Studios. I'm not sure if it's Florida or California. It's one of them, and it's the Velociraptor ride.
Okay, because I saw the POV of that and was like, this. If I built this exact ride in Planet Coaster, it would be red. Like there would not be it would make everybody puke because it was just constantly extreme. And I'm like, you know what? I want to go and play that. I'm going to go ride it.
I mean, I was thinking I need to get Planet Coaster. We should maybe have a competition as to which one of us can make the best roller coaster.
Ooh, and we have to ride it.
Yeah. I don't know if people would want to watch that, but we could ride each other's roller coasters and then get the chat to vote on which one they like the best.
It says you constantly hear the Jurassic Park theme near the Wizarding World in Orlando. The crossover nobody wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
Dinosaurs eating wizards. There. What has been swapping your time? It doesn't quite work with a new name, does it?
No. What's been swapping your joystick?
Well,
I'm not sure if that works either.
Swapping anything with it. It's too hot.
Far too hot. Having finished playing with 2 points, because that's taken over my life for the last couple of weeks.
In my head, swabbing joysticks just came to my head, and
no swaps. Thank you very much. No, thank you.
Ugh.
I have got back into Final Fantasy XII. I've also been playing some 14, which I know I always go on about. I'm getting back into that as well. But I'm playing Final Fantasy XII because it's on PS Plus and you can play it in double speed. So I'm basically trying to race through it. I could rant about this game for a long time, and I will try and keep it brief. It is a deeply, deeply flawed Final Fantasy game. I kind of love it, but I also hate it. I played it on PS2 when it came out. It was my second year of university, I think. And I loved Final Fantasy X, and I wanted more of the same. And it's not that at all. Final Fantasy XII is when Square Enix really went experimental and decided to do something totally different. 11 between them was an MMO. And so I think with 12, what they were trying to do is sort of recreate that MMO feel, but in a single player game. And they experimented with a lot of things, and some of it works and some of it really doesn't work, I think. I love the characters. I think it's got a really, really great cast of characters that I actually want to use all of them. And you can only use 3 in battle, which is really annoying because I want to use all of them, except for Varn, because he's an annoying little twink and I want to punch him.
Nothing wrong with twinks.
But also Balthier is super hot, so I'd rather play as him the whole time. The cast is also basically Star Wars, and the story is basically Star Wars as well. I like the Star Wars and I like the setting because it's trying to be a more grounded political thriller. It ends up becoming very Final Fantasy, Save the Princess, but
and the crystals. Do they have to take the crystals?
No, it's got nethicite instead, which is basically crystals, under a different name. So it's a bit more sort of political grounded, and I like that. It's trying to do something a little bit different. I also really like the art style. It looks slightly odd. It looks slightly odd in the HD remaster, which is what I'm playing. In the original, they sort of shaded on the textures of things to make it look more realistic and add more depth to it. And when you move that to HD, it kind of just gives you characters with weird markings on them.
Yeah, have you ever seen RuPaul's Drag Race when they do when they talk about their past childhood traumas in front of the mirror while they're putting on makeup? All the characters look like that, like they're drag queens halfway putting on makeup. Yeah, they've got the lines perfected and stuff like that, and they look permanently surprised.
But I've grown to like it because I really like the character designs, and I feel like it with that, along with the sort of slightly blurry PS2 textures, it just feels a bit more sort of watercolory in a way that like Skyward Sword was trying to be but failed, and this feels a bit more sort of watercolor painting, like they're trying to, it has a sort of artistic vibe to it, which I like. I also like the battle system, and I didn't like it when I first played it, because essentially it's an auto battler. It plays itself. It has this system called the Gambit system that allows you to program all of your characters So you have different lines and you have actions and targets, and you can basically program all of your characters to do whatever you want them to do. And it means that when you go into battle, it's completely hands off. You just walk in and the characters do whatever they're going to do. And I hated that as a kid because I was like, I don't feel active. I don't feel like I'm taking part in this. But I sort of grew to like it more towards the end. And now that I'm playing it again from scratch, knowing that that's what the battle system is, I've actually started to really enjoy it. And that's also because you can play it in double speed. So you don't even have to press anything, and they just run around and kill everyone for you at double speed. And you're like, oh, this is great. And it basically puts the emphasis on strategy before battle. So you have to have programmed everything. And if you're having to step in and change things, it kind of shows that your gambits went right. Whereas if you walk in and everything works smoothly, there's a sort of satisfaction in that you got through the battle without having to do anything, even though it maybe feels annoying that you didn't do anything.
That feels like a game that would be perfect on mobile.
Kind of. I mean, I haven't played it on Switch. I'm playing it on PlayStation, but I imagine it would be a fun Switch game as well for on the go.
I've got it on Switch.
Well, there you go.
I'll have to give it a go. Well, by the way, fun fact by Erinus, it was the first Final Fantasy title where the character's fingers moved independently.
Very nice. Very nice. I mean, the character models are beautiful. The environment's less so, but the character models are beautiful.
Yeah, the dungeon I watched you play through was...
We'll get to that.
Okay.
What I also like about the battle system is that it kind of puts more emphasis on this meta game of leveling up your characters with the license board. And they've really played with that in the Zodiac Age, which is this remaster, where it basically adds a job system. So a bit like Final Fantasy XIV. And each character is given a license board, which is like a sort of checkerboard that you can go around, and you unlock all the different, not just abilities, but also access to different weapons and armors. So when you get a weapon, you can't immediately use it until you have bought the license on the board in order to get access to it. And sometimes that becomes a bit annoying because you're sort of nowhere near what you need, or you're like, oh, I've got this great weapon, but I can't use it yet. There's also a lot more emphasis on shops and buying stuff, because you have to have bought a lot of the spells before you can use them, or you have to sell all of your crap to get money, and sometimes that can be annoying. Even the gambits, you have to buy them all, and there are hundreds to buy, so that becomes quite annoying when you're nowhere near a shop but you want to set up a gambit in your head and you can't do that. I've basically not used any mages because like I don't have enough gambits to actually set them up how I want them to be. But you know, there's a nice metagame of like leveling up your characters, and halfway through you get access to a second job for each of your characters. So they basically can have 2 jobs each. So you can have someone who's a black mage and a white mage, or someone who's a ninja and a monk, or whatever else. And you can really mix and match across. There's a lot of strategy in choosing your jobs and how you level up the characters. So I actually really like that metagame, the way that they did that. I know for 13, they then went really linear with the whatever their equivalent sphere grid license board thing was, and it was crap. But with this, there's a lot of customization in it, and that's really, really fun. So that's where the real meat of the game is. There are some things, however, that I absolutely hate about it. I hate the dungeons.
Oh.
The dungeons are terrible. Every single dungeon is either a mine or a desert or a tomb. Every single one is just
I think it was a wood
shades
you
of
went through.
brown. There's a wood, but it's really dark. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
Everything is just like a complete labyrinth. There's very few puzzles. It's so easy to get lost in them. They look drab and brown.
Lady V says that eye roll. Lady V, Ed was bored playing it. Now imagine me watching somebody play it. That's how boring it was. You weren't even looking at the screen. You were looking at the map, weren't you, to follow the way...
Well, that's the thing, is that there's a mini map, or you can click a button to overlay the map over the entire screen. So I just use that and just follow the little dots around the map. I don't even look where I'm going.
Pac-Man, like a really shit Pac-Man.
Yeah, and you've got it on double speed, which is a saving grace to get through the dungeons quicker. And you just look at the map and they just auto battle while you're going. So it kind of trivializes it, but it also sort of makes it fun, even though you're getting through the game quicker. So that's nice. There's also quite a lot of grinding in the game to level up, which again, double speed makes it a lot quicker. So that's nice. So I feel like it's kind of a bit of a flawed game. There are a lot of little annoyances with the way that you level up that don't quite work, but I sort of still really like it anyway. And I haven't finished it yet. I did finish it when I was younger. So I'm looking forward to finishing this off again. Although Erinus was just saying that the final dungeon is terrible, so I've got that to look forward to. But at least it's double speed.
Yeah. Speaking of great JRPGs, I've actually been playing a little bit of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I'm still in what they probably call the tutorial. Because
and
you
how
can
many hours is that?
5. I think I'm 5 in. Because I'm currently playing as the tank. Or I've just started the level where they're going to teach me like how to be a tank in the game. If anybody doesn't know, when you play like an MMO, you've got your tank, you've got your healer, and usually a couple of DPS. I mean, that's from Final Fantasy XIV. I haven't really played any other MMOs, but I assume it's something similar. But yeah, and it's similar in this game. You can choose who you play as. I think there are about, well, I don't want to give it away, but I think there are about 8 characters you can play as. But you can choose their roles. And at the moment, I've been the main character, whose name escapes me, who is like a DPS, typical, damage. Then I've played as the healer for a bit, which was okay. I think people tell me that playing as the healer is actually quite easy because everybody else does all these great moves and stuff, and you're just there making sure that they stay alive, giving them buffs. And yeah, I'm going to be trying out the tank person. And then I'm guessing you can choose who you play as in battles. So, if you're more of somebody that likes to play as a healer in the game, you could play the whole thing as that. But I think we spoke about that last week, so I will play a bit more this week and keep you updated and let you know what it's going to be like next time.
I will say, from watching a few people play Xenoblade on stream, I feel like there's actually quite a lot of similarity with the battle system of 12. The way that you can play as any character, the sort of the lines that arc over as you target enemies, the way it in some ways sort of plays itself a little bit. If you imagine that, but you have to set up all the AI of your companions, that's how 12 plays.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's fun so far, and I'm looking forward to playing more. Lady V says, until I started working in this industry, I thought JRPG was John, Ringo, Paul, and George.
Oh dear. Wow.
Well, that is, I'm going to have to screenshot that because that is the best thing I've seen all day. There we go.
Something broke in Ed. It did.
Yeah.
I've been playing JRPGs for a long time, so.
Benny, what have you been playing? Anything else, or?
I think we should see what chat's been playing, or at least what people in Discord have been playing.
You go and tell us what chat's been saying while I screenshot this amazing quote.
Let's go through. A couple of people have been playing Hearthstone. No, I've never played Hearthstone before. I know it was huge a few years ago.
I mean, I have played Hearthstone before, but I've not played this new kind of battle royale version of it, the fast-moving one. It was very complicated, and I kept dying in the tutorial, so I wasn't quite sure what was going on. But people seem to love it.
Yeah. It was Hearthstone Battlegrounds. It's the only game I played for a while now. Simple card game that does not stress me out like shooting games where you have to aim. Fair. Mr. Millhill, I've been mostly actually playing around with an AI artist, which is super addictive. But other than that, I've been having some fun in Hearthstone with the new expansion. Still super fun game, but still lots of balance issues, and it's very expensive if you really want to get into it. I'm presuming there are microtransactions.
In Hearthstone.
Yes.
Yeah, you pay. Yeah, you buy packs. Or maybe I'm being told
something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that. Randy Pasta, I've been playing 2 early access games this week. Ooh. The first is Dinkum, which is basically an Australian Animal Crossing Stardew type game. I've only played the first hour so far, and I'm enjoying the grind of making money and crafting things. I've never heard of that. The other is Farthest Frontier, a survival city building game. It's a bit like Banished, but with the difficulty ramped up. I barely scrap through the winter, as any food you grow or gather actually spoils over time. Even if you store a lot of food, it's likely spoiled in months. Plus, you have to keep defending against attacks from wild animals and bandits. It's not going to be for everyone, given the learning curve, even on the lower difficulties. And Brenda
Yeah.
has also been playing Farthest Frontier. So all these people playing games I haven't even heard of.
And you're
Which
meant
is
to be the
great.
game. You're meant to be the game's journalist here.
No, this is great.
Yeah.
I haven't played it myself, but I've watched a lot of gameplay. There's this game that finally went into early access the day before yesterday called Farthest Frontier. It's a really detailed medieval city builder with lots of different mechanisms and events that you have to keep an eye on. Proper micromanaging game, not for you then, Ben. That looks really stunning. So I'm really interested to start playing.
I just got really confused because two people in chat said hi Ed, and it's another Ed. I was like, wait, what? Was trying to get his attention? Yeah, it's interesting to see two people playing the same one. Apparently, at Hearthstone, the packs cost everything. Now, Miss Millhill says new expansion comes, you need to buy new cards. Is that a thing where, yeah, if you don't buy the latest cards that are out, you're not going to be as well equipped? Because that must be quite infuriating. Unless it's, I say that, but that's the case with like Destiny and pretty much any game that's kind of constant. You do need the latest stuff if you want to be, the highest level. But I mean, if Hearthstone is purely PvP, then that maybe leaves a bit more of a sour taste. But yeah, I think it's the same with most games that are a live service. You'll need the latest thing if you want to, be the max level.
Yeah. That's why I don't want to start with any of those things, because I don't want to get sucked into that. Yeah. Ollie Ray's been playing Road 96, which actually sounds really interesting. You play the game about 8 times, but each time you play as a different teenager trying to flee the country without being killed or arrested. Every decision you make changes the story, and there are thousands of possible outcomes of the game, so no one's playing through it the same as no one's playthrough is the same as anyone else's. It's set in the 90s in 1992. I absolutely love the characters you're introduced to. I'm down for the 90s vibe.
Yeah.
If you're
You remember 92, don't you?
I do. I was
high school.
5.
Oh.
High school? Screw you.
It's your birthday next. We're only we're the same age for only one more week.
Let's not go there. So also that's on Game Pass, Road 96. So I might have to give that a go. Moni's also been playing 2 Point Campus, but on the Switch. Played a bit now. The controls are obviously not super ideal. They are as good as they can be on the Switch. You have to go through a lot of menus to get where you want to go. They try to split it up as well as they can, and there's always a pointer, what button you need to click now to get to where you potentially want to go. And they have quite a good initial start point selection on new menus. So it seems like the controls work all right on Switch. I've heard fairly good things about it.
Yeah, we were because we haven't even mentioned that we went to a launch event on Monday.
We did
to 2 Point Canteen. Now there are videos that if you've been following us on, and I posted it on everything really, different videos on each. Ed, for the very first time, had a turkey Twizzler in his mouth. And what was your opinion of? So, yeah, this is the 2 Point Canteen. I think it was just a 1-day thing because it was open the following day. It was open on Tuesday, and we went on Monday to like a special fancy event thing where we got to meet some wonderful people such as Ebonix, and some other people that we knew. But we got what they were wanting to describe as an authentic school dinner that had been put on by a chef. And let's just say, I don't think Ed went to a state school because he did not recognize any of that.
I recognize, I've heard of it.
Quail eggs on toast? This isn't a quail eggs on toast.
No, I actually took a packed lunch to school.
Of course you did.
School dinners were shit.
Was it venison sandwiches?
No, it was like, I'd have like chicken nuggets or mini sausage rolls or something.
You've eaten a sausage roll and chicken nuggets? Up. You definitely had Baby Bell.
Yes.
I know that because you
doesn't love a Baby Bell?
Still have Baby Bell, yeah.
Baby Bells are great.
We had Baby Bell on that bench. It's lovely.
Yeah, my mum decided to buy us some, yeah.
That was really nice. I don't think I've ever had Baby Bell. Do you know the one time I had Baby Bell? I bit into it.
Oh, you've told me this story.
I don't think I have.
No, you have.
Oh. Well, I won't say it then, because if I've told you, then nobody can
You
hear
ate the
it.
wax, right?
I ate the wax and was like, that's disgusting. Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't see the little thing that you use to peel the wax off. But yeah, I didn't really want.
Awful.
Yeah, so it put me off for
Absolutely
life.
awful.
But then I had it for the second time, and was like, you know what? Well, I did spit the wax out, but then I was like, well, if that's what it's meant to be tasting like, then no, I don't want it. Yeah, what I want to know is, what is a full-size Baby Bell? There's only mini Baby Bell. Is it just the bell? A big cheesy bell.
Let's not go there, please.
Very waxy.
Oh no! Please no! Make it stop.
But yeah, that was. But then, yeah, no, I had your mum's Baby Bell, and it was, wax off was very nice. There you go.
Lovely. Well, I've now eaten a turkey Twizzler, and I'm pretty sure it's not actually turkey that's in it. Or if it is, it's like turkey anus or something. It's fucking disgusting.
I don't understand where they even got them from, because I'm pretty sure turkey Twizzlers were banned. Turkey Twizzlers ingredients: 4 turkey sauce. Oh, this is how to make it yourself. What are turkey Twizzlers made of? The original corkscrew strips of processed meat contained only 34% turkey, bulked up with water, pork fat, rusk. So like the baby food. Rusk and coating, sawdust. No, I didn't say that. As well as a range of additives, sweeteners, and flavorings. 34% turkey. Turkey sphincter. Yeah. Isn't rusk biscuit a different thing?
Rusk is like is all the bits of sort of bone and fat and all that crap that gets mixed up together.
Turkey neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pure neck. Might contain.
It just was the worst thing. It had such a like heavy, rich kind of taste to it, which you don't expect from turkey.
When something's over.
Also, it was cold.
Yeah, it was cold, and also when something's over flavored, you just like, that's hiding something. The same thing. So one thing I do love is the vegan sausage roll from Greg's. It's fantastic. But they brought out a vegan steak bake, and they just, oh no, I think it was the vegan. I don't know if it was a vegan steak bake or if it was, no, it was a vegan steak bake, and they just piled so many flavorings in there and so many spices that it just tasted like, a pot of potpourri. And it just did not, you knew it was disguising the fact that there was no taste. Whereas the vegan sausage roll, top quality.
There you go.
I love the sausage.
Anyway, it was a lovely evening. Just the food was not ideal.
No. Yeah, what was the other thing we had? Oh, I had a cupcake.
A mug cake.
Yeah.
I've got a whole book about mug cakes.
Not a cupcake, that's
a recipe
different.
book.
Yeah?
No. Yeah. So a mug cake is just kind of making a cake in a mug in the microwave. So it means that rather than baking an entire cake, you can just mix enough ingredients to put in a cake, to put in a mug, and then you cook it very quickly in the microwave for like 2 minutes, and then you are left with just an individual cake for yourself. So if you're like, I just really, really fancy cake, you can make a mug cake very quickly.
And I will be making you one for your birthday next Friday.
No, you will not be making me a mug cake. You can do damn well better than that.
When was the last time you used your microwave?
Well, it's not my microwave.
Don't use that
It's my
excuse.
housemate's.
Don't use that. It's there. It can be used by anybody. When was the last time you used a microwave?
Probably when you were around and I made
Pot noodle.
no, we had muffins with poached egg and spinach, and I think I just blitzed the spinach quickly in the microwave.
I thought it tasted funny.
It tasted funny. It was well seasoned, thank you very much.
It was the poached egg on muffins. Yeah. That's when I used the microwave. Ah, brilliant. You don't get a co-op mac and cheese ready meal. Lady V's, don't you use your microwave to make tea? Lady
Don't
V,
start.
since when were you American, Lady V?
Don't start.
I actually really like spinach. it's grown on me a lot. It goes so well with like a very, you know, a nice salty poached egg and a nice muffin.
You're welcome.
Yes. It was delicious. Thank you very much. Okay. Anything else in the news?
Well,
Or
people have been
anything in
playing
the
various
news?
other bits and pieces.
What do you want
Oh,
to...
you want to skip to news now?
No,
do you?
no. We can keep going. We're going to play some Splatoon afterwards, by the way. So Splatoon 2. So if you do have Splatoon 2 and you want to join us, get it ready.
Well, Gemma's written a little essay on Bear and Breakfast, which I know some people have been playing on stream, and a lot of people really like it because it's just come out. I've played about 20 hours of Bear and Breakfast in the last 5 to 6 days, says Gemma, which is a ton for me with my current schedule. I've also dreamt about it every single night since getting it. I know that.
Ed
I was
always
dreaming of Final Fantasy XII arcs of battle last night.
And you also dream of bears and breakfast.
I mean, what's not to love about Bears and Breakfast? Having said that, it's definitely not perfect. I'd say 7 out of 10.
Oh.
We've got a score. Excellent. We love to get a score.
Oh yeah, let's do that next week. We want scores as well with your reviews.
Oh yeah. Sometimes the layouts are frustrating and view rotation is non-existent. You are constantly upgrading items, but you can't sell old items. Only toss them. The garbage can only empties once a day, so it's definitely possible to have a pocket full of things you can't use and get rid of. And there's only one central storage area outside of your pocket. That does sound quite annoying. Having said that, there are things I adore in capital letters. The tone is both funny and sweet. Hank the Bear is a delightful character, and the art is a perfect complement to the story. The story is pretty light-handed, but carries the game well enough, and the cast of characters are charming and funny. It also has one of the best cooking mechanics of any of the management games I play. It's just evolved enough and gets a bit more complex as you go. I end up cooking way more food than I need because of it. I do love a cooking mechanic in a game.
What's the best cooking mechanic in a game?
I mean, it's a basic answer, but I really enjoy it in Breath of the Wild.
I like holding it and then dropping it in.
Yeah, I like that, and the way it all bounces and
Bing,
stuff.
bing,
I really like the animation of it, but I also like how you can experiment, so you can mix and match all the different ingredients to just see what happens.
Yeah.
And I like that because that's what cooking should be about.
I enjoy the realism in Final Fantasy XV. That food.
That too
makes me hungry.
Did look very nice.
And Battle Chef Brigade.
Battleship Big
Chef.
What's that?
Battle Chef Brigade. Oh, but is it Battle Chef Brigade or just Battle Chef?
Oh, Battle Chef.
Yeah.
Battleship.
No, Battle Chef Brigade. Yeah, it was Battle Chef Brigade. That was interesting from what I remember. I got really into it. Yeah, it was like matching numbers and things to make food. It was fun. Anything else in the news?
Well, let's talk about the news.
Oh. I keep saying that and I'm like, oh, actually, I haven't started the news.
We haven't even started the news bit, but we will start that right now, just
Excellent.
for you, Ben.
Thank you.
Well, the big news of the week is that we had a Nintendo Direct.
Did we?
All about Splatoon 3. Which is a large reason why we're going to play some Splatoon after this. It was a good half an hour, and a large chunk of that was taken up with explaining the basics of the game and what it is. I feel like this is very much a refresh of Splatoon, in terms of trying to get a new audience, and just try and get everyone into it on a new playing field. But there's enough new little tweaks in there that I think it's going to be really fun. For existing players. One of the biggest things is that they are now going to have 3-way fights for the Splatfests.
Ooh.
So Splatfests are coming back, which is obviously voting which side you want to be and then battling out to see which one wins. They will now be 3-way, and the battles will come in 2 halves, and the second half will be 4v2v2 from across all 3 categories.
4v3v2.
4v2v2. So it will have one team in the middle of all 4, and then there'll be 2 from another team and 2 from a third team either side. So we're going to get a nice chaotic 3-way battle, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, what kind of things do you think it'll be? What's like 3? Because obviously, they go chicken versus the egg, or it's heads versus tails, or whatever, or cats versus dogs. What would be a 3-way?
I did see a good meme that was basically like Nintendo is going to cause absolute mayhem, and it's going to be like the 3 starters of Pokemon, or it will be which house did you choose in Fire Emblem Three Houses,
Yeah.
or Xenoblade 1, 2, or 3. And people will pick them, and it will be awful.
What 3 would, yeah. Or we'd have, cats, dogs, or, neither. Hate pets.
Rabbits.
Rabbits. Cats, dogs, food.
Yeah. Well, the first one is going to be rock, paper, scissors, which is
it?
a little bit,
I was
it's
literally
rock, paper,
thinking that
scissors.
as an example.
So it's rock, paper, scissors. And that's actually coming a week before, I think it's a week before release, as a free demo, so that everyone can try it out.
I like that. That's really
And
boring.
also,
Which are you going to pick?
With that demo, you also get a week's access to Nintendo Switch Online. So if you don't already have Nintendo Switch Online, you basically get a week for free, which is nice.
Eurogamer,
but it's only the basic one. It's not the expansion.
IGN, GameSpot.
Oh, it's no contest.
Yeah, it'll be like Earth, Wind, Fire. Do you remember?
That's actually quite a good one, to be fair. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Steve,
I don't think they get away. I don't think they get away with that though.
Top, bottom, verse.
Anyway, the 3-way.
Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. Yeah. Speaking of,
is in line with the new idols. So each game has new idols that are the announcers, and they have new ones who form a group called Deep Cut.
Can we skip them?
We now have Shiver, Fry, and a big stingray called Big Man.
I haven't watched this direct, by the way. I need to watch it.
You do. So they are the new idols. And yes, you can now skip that. So they will contact you on a phone that will come up in the corner of the screen instead of having that announcement every time you log on.
Oh, thank God, because that was the worst part, which I will show you very soon when we start playing it. It's off. Stay off the hook. Right.
Yeah. There's also going to be another story mode. So that's fun. There's going to be Salmon Run coming back. There are going to be some new maps. There's also some new moves, which I think could be really cool. There's one that's a dodge move. So you can basically quickly dodge and go in another direction, which I think genuinely could be a game changer. And there's another move where you can boost up walls. So if you're currently kind of in squid form sliding up, you can kind of boost yourself up. And there will be sort of buffs for those as well. And there is also going to be a new mini game, which is basically a card game meets Tetris. So the idea is that you've got like a grid, which is meant to be sort of the map of a Splatoon match. And then you have your cards, and each of those cards are like different sort of Tetris style shapes. So you have to lay them down to cover the grid with as much of your ink as you can. But you do that through collecting cards. So it's not like a card battler. It's kind of like you're playing Tetris, but through collected cards. And I think that's a genius way of like tweaking Splatoon into a mini game. It's just perfect.
I'm looking forward to playing that, and it's out in less than a month.
Yep, it's next month. It's out.
Do you know what's coming out
which is amazing.
Would you like to know what's coming out in the next few weeks?
Tell us, Ben.
We've got Marvel Spider-Man Remastered is out tomorrow. Kirby's Dream Buffet is out in 6 days.
That is out in 6. That was a surprise announced today at the Kirby 30th anniversary concert.
Saints Row is on the 23rd of this month. And F1 Manager 2022 is out on the 30th, along with Immortality. Now
that is the next game from Sam Barlow, who wrote Her Story and that other one that I also played on stream, and I can't remember what it's called.
The one that you got angry with?
Yes. That doesn't narrow it down. So it's the next game from him. And that's had very good reviews already.
Very, very good reviews. I don't know if I'd play it on stream, but I'm intrigued by it. Anything else in the news?
Lots of things in the news. We have some kind of sad, awful news, which is trans streamer on Twitch, Keffels, who, I mean, this is absolutely awful, was basically arrested by police through a swatting incident. and she has released a video on YouTube that sort of describes the event and what happened to her. Essentially, emails were sent impersonating her to every council member in her region in Canada, stating that she had killed her own mother, was in possession of a gun, and had plans to enter City Hall and shoot every cisgender person there, which is just awful that someone
Think
decided to do that.
Yeah, the amount of time and effort that would have taken as well, and research. That is somebody who is more than unhinged. That person needs to be imprisoned.
Yeah.
Like,
and so
see,
this person did that, and in all the emails actually dead named her, which makes it obvious that it's clearly not her, it's a troll. And yet the police basically took it seriously, and so she woke up with literally police in her home with an assault rifle. And so in this video, it's basically her talking about how she's basically like traumatized now because of this. It's just absolutely awful. This happened a few days ago, but it's been covered quite a bit in the news. So I think a very small plus side is just that, you know, it's sort of opening people's eyes to how terrifying swatting is, how this even happens. And a lot of people have come out in support of her, as they rightly should, and trans rights. So there is a lot of support out there for her,
including the leader of a leader of one of the parties in Canada has also come out in support, and you know, some really big. Well, he's obviously a really big politician. He's the leader of one of the parties. Whether that will also bring up and, you know, cause something to actually happen and people to, you know, open their eyes a bit. Because this you just see it again and again. It is shocking.
Yeah,
but like I don't understand why the police can't have. So if you're, you know, these people that are big on Twitch have, like, the police should know that this person is, you know, is big on Twitch. They can warn them, be like, you know, these type of things can happen. You know, if you do hear anything like this, you know, treat it in this way. Because my father, now he obviously very retired, he was a magistrate. And if anything was called through to the police that was related to our house, the police came immediately, and it was all dealt with like incredibly differently to what it would anywhere else. Because he could have been victimized, or he could have been, he could have been targeted because of that. Like my mum, I think I've told this story on the stream before, but my mum went to a petrol station with a new car, and she couldn't undo the cap on the top. So she's like, oh, fuck this. So she went back home, and the person at the petrol station saw that, thought my mum had stolen a full tank of petrol, even though she'd like been there for about 20 seconds trying to open up the thing and then couldn't do it. And the police were there within like under 5 minutes. So they, you know, they go straight away, even though it's got nothing to do with my dad being targeted or anything like that. It's, you know, the police are there straight away. So you can do that. You can have certain houses that may be high risk, or the high risk of certain things. That's something that needs to change.
So that's the really shocking thing about this, is that this isn't just about, it's not just about her being swatted. It's about the police reaction, because this is not the first time that she's been swatted, and yet they still treated it like this. They have taken all of her belongings. She's had to basically rebuy all of her like tech and equipment in order to stream. She doesn't know when she's going to stream again. The police are basically keeping all of her stuff in for forensics, digital forensics, and that could take months to get cleared. And it's quite obviously a swatting. It's quite obviously a troll that's doing this, and yet, like, you know, they're reacting in this way and going to all extremes when it's clearly not necessary. And that's why, you know, Keffels believes that it's not just the swatting, it's the police reaction to it that is also transphobic.
Yeah, the dead naming and everything that happened.
Exactly.
Swatting is becoming more and more common, as Aubrey in the chat said. This happened to a ton of the US stream queens last year as well. It's something that the police need to work out how to combat and how to stop. Because if they maybe also this happens when the police are armed. But then I imagine in the
Also
UK,
true.
if somebody said this person's got a firearm and stuff, they would send the armed police as well. So it's shocking, but they need to work out how to stop this or how to combat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
I mean, stay safe online, but it's it's pretty shocking when these stories come out.
Yeah. So I said, dang, what was I crying? I joked that my mum is not doing 14 years in prison at the moment for not stealing petrol.
Some other news. Microsoft and Sony are squabbling.
Oh, no.
Which has a lot of dirty laundry being aired. As we know, I'll try and sum this up briefly. As we know, Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard. And as part of that deal, lots of companies are invited to comment on this deal as it goes through. Basically to sort of check for like anti-competition and monopolies and all that kind of businessy stuff. What's interesting is that in Brazil, this stuff gets aired publicly. So it's basically through Brazil that we're hearing about this. And so of course Sony have objected to Microsoft buying them because Microsoft is their biggest competitor. And they don't want Microsoft to buy Activision. And they have basically come out to say, you know, Call of Duty is huge and Microsoft shouldn't be allowed to have that because obviously Call of Duty is very popular on PlayStation and all this kind of stuff. And Microsoft have then turned around, and this is the really shocking thing. Well, not shocking, but what Microsoft has said is that PlayStation have actually been paying developers blocking rights to prevent them from putting their games on Game Pass. So they're basically sort of paying third parties and indies to say, come to PlayStation instead, don't go on Game Pass. And to be honest, I think it would be a bit naive for people to think that these things don't happen. Like in some ways, this is just business, and of course they're going to be doing deals and whatever. It's a bit shady to purposefully single out Microsoft in that way, and you know, to stop people from putting their games on there. But yeah, there's a lot of shady stuff going on between both companies, and this is just them airing it all publicly, which is kind of just funny to watch. But in part because Microsoft are basically being forced to downplay the importance of Call of Duty in order to say that yes, we want to buy it because but it's not that much of a monopoly. It's not that important, even though it clearly is, which is kind of just ironically quite amusing.
Yeah, as Erin says, wait till they see how Nintendo operates.
Well, exactly.
Oh, Nintendo is. Yeah, I've heard stories lately about Nintendo that are just very surprising. Apparently Epic was doing similar. They offered a 100% revenue split for Borderlands 3 just so they got a year exclusivity before Steam got it, whereas Steam has a 70-30. Yes, is Steam still at 70-30 or did they change that? Because I know Steam was 70-30, and then nearly every other platform gives a lot more to the publishers that are actually selling it, or the developers or whatever, or the people that were selling it. And yeah, I don't know if Steam actually changed that at all. I feel like I heard something that they had done, but
maybe.
Who knows?
Anyway, business is business.
Business.
A couple of other little bits as well. I think this year is very much the year of, or partly the year of sort of tactical RPGs. There are a lot out this year. I've been playing some Triangle Strategy. There are various other ones coming out. One of which is the Direfield Chronicle, which is from Square Enix, which was first announced at the PlayStation State of Play in March, and it's coming out on the 22nd of September across all consoles and PC. But there is now a demo out for it.
Have you played it?
A bit like what Square have been doing for their other games, I haven't played it yet, is that this is basically the opening chapter of the game, and your progress will continue into the main game if you wanted to buy it. It does look quite good. There are previews out at the moment that you can go and read. It's got some speaking of Final Fantasy 12, it's got some concept art by the Final Fantasy 12 and 13 artist. It's also got a score by the Game of Thrones composers. So they're definitely going for epic JRPG tactical battle, but it's also real-time tactical battle system. So it's like a mix of sort of tactical strategy stuff, but all in real time. It looks interesting. There's a demo if you want to go play it.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be very excited about it. Is it Tactics Ogre Reborn or something like that?
Yep, there's that one. There's other ones. There's the Mario and Rabbids game.
Yes, can't wait for that.
Hard West 2 just came out. Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of game. Last week we talked about Resident Evil coming to Dead by Daylight, and the new characters have now been added to the public test build, which means that we finally can see what Wesker is like to play as.
Okay.
As a killer, and he has his Ouroboros. I think it's Ouroboros. Ouroboros, whatever.
Your guess is as good as mine.
He can throw people. And he also has a massive ass. So people are loving playing as Wesker for his big bum.
Okay, well, I need to Google this 1 second.
Of course you need to suddenly Google this.
Just to see.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, people always thirst after the killers, so it's no surprise. But, you know, people are very much thirsting after Wesker in a kind of, you've got a big ass, please throw me against the wall.
Yeah, fair. Have you been playing any of the DBD romance game?
I did play through it, yes. Sorry, I didn't mention that. I should have talked about it. I have played Hooked on You. I was not hooked on You.
Okay, there. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. If you've only played Final Fantasy XII by this time next week, you can give us a good old rundown on Hooked on You.
It'll be 2 weeks' time.
That's right, in 2. Okay, you'll have played something different by then. You definitely will have.
I'm going to play Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah. And
so we'll have that to talk about.
There's another game as well, isn't there?
Another one I'm reviewing, yes, but we'll get to that next week.
2 weeks.
And then 2 weeks. And then the last thing is that a new fighter has been announced for Street Fighter VI, and she's called Kimberly, and she is the first female African-American fighter in Street Fighter.
Wow.
Which is great.
Yeah. Also quite
It
surprised.
feels like it is surprising.
Yeah.
I think she looks awesome. She's got a very kind of 90s vibe to her, which I think is really cool. I'm slightly concerned with the description of her from Capcom that says that her moveset has traditional ninja techniques, but with an added urban twist. And it's just always really cringy when there's like an African-American character that gets described as urban. But I do feel like they are very much westernizing Street Fighter. And they are really pushing like a hip hop sort of influence in the soundtrack, and going for that kind of 90s hip hop street kind of vibe, which is kind of back to the original games from the 90s, but slightly more modernized. I think in terms of character design, I think she looks really cool. I think her moveset looks awesome, and I really hope that that's going to bring a new audience to Street Fighter and represent a whole new audience out there. And I really hope that people want to play as her, because I think she looks super cool. It is just, I just don't like urban twist as a phrase.
Yeah, I wish I'd liked fighting games. I've never been good at them, never enjoyed them.
I've never been good at them either.
Maybe that'd be more fun. Yeah, you like your Smash. Even I can't even get into Smash.
That's my limit. Smash is my limit.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was Swapping Joysticks.
That was the news.
That was the news, and that was Swapping Joysticks. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have listened and enjoyed it and whatnot, go and give us a subscribe on your favorite podcast player, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any others. Just search for Swapping Joysticks. We're on there. You can give us a follow, and also, some of them you can even like rate us. I think we've got an average of 5 stars on Apple Podcasts.
Is that out of 10 or?
No, out of one. Out of one. Sorry, no, out of one review that's given it, which was me. So I gave it a nice 5 stars, and that's the only review it's got. So I'm happy to keep it like that. We even have a widget on May 9's home screen.
Excellent,
incredible. Yeah, I was, and
also go like and subscribe on YouTube, where we have videos up, and make sure that you're ready for the next F1 video this weekend for all of the mayhem on Monaco.
Thank you so much as well for everybody that watched it on. They watched the first round in Miami on YouTube. We got loads of views on there, and I hope you enjoyed seeing, well, I was screwed. Not going to spoil it too much, but I had the Ferrari treatment done to me. And you can go and watch that if you'd like. And the round 2 will appear this Saturday morning, if I upload the right video this time. And you'll be able to watch that from 9 a.m. UK time. And
in which we were both screwed, and I'll say no more.
Yeah. It was a very different race to the first one. Very, very, very different. And you'll see. Yeah, I've got to edit that after. That's why we're not going to stream too much longer. However, we are going to be playing some Splatoon 2 in just a moment. But yeah, if you want to find me, you can find me at Biggest Bennis pretty much everywhere, or Biggest Bennis1 on Twitter. Ed Nightingale, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at ed_nights.
And where do we see your writing?
On Eurogamer.
There you go. So go and go follow Ed and me and whatnot. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time. We will be taking a little break next week for Ed's birthday. He's demanded my full attention on that day. So we'll have to do the podcast the week after.
Sure.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening. Bye.
See you next week.